Good morning. I'm Sheriff Danny H. Rogers with the Guilford County Sheriff's Office in Greensboro, High Point, North Carolina. Welcome to another episode of Coffee with the Sheriff. Today, our special guest is Samantha Seagraves. She is our United Way representative for the Guilford County Sheriff's Office. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Doing well. Welcome to the Coffee with the Sheriff. And thank you for taking time out to come and sit down with us, with me, and let's try to bring some understanding about the United Way, why we need the United Way, why the Sheriff's Office want to play a major piece within the United Way organization. Okay? So you want to tell us a little bit about what's going on, what you're doing, and what your goals are right now?
My job as a coordinator for the department is to conduct fundraisers and get out as much information about United Way to the department so that they are able to share the information and resources with inmates that we deal with on a regular basis, as well as the families of some of the inmates that we deal with, and to be able to offer actual services for the families of the inmates that we actually house in both departments, as well as help some of our detention officers, sheriff officers that are in the department.
Okay. So, as we know, people forever, used to know the United Way. Every campaign season, the United Way will have this United Way commercial, especially during sports, wide world of sports, or NFL Sundays, or college Saturdays. You will always see the United Way campaign, and they will always put the prominent people on it, people that were that have come through, or money people. It kind of turned some people away within the communities because people were thinking like, it's not, it doesn't really, my money doesn't go where I want it to go, or it doesn't help me in the black community, or it doesn't help me in the white community or Latino community where I want it to. So let's talk a little bit about the fact of being able to designate your particular dollars, your dollar, your 50 cents, or your $5, or whatever you want to give to the organization that you want the money to go to.
So over the years, instead of just giving an actual donation and it just goes to United Way and they kind of designate where the funds go, you as a giver can make the decision where your funds will actually go. For example, if you donate money, you want it to go directly to the Boys and Girls Club here in Greensboro, North Carolina, then when you make that donation, you can specifically say that you want your funds to go to the Boys and Girls Clubs here in North Carolina. Your money can actually stay within your city, within your county, within your state, or you can just donate as a whole, and they will continue to designate where your funds go as far as United Way. So that is a plus, that you can actually donate and see your money at work.
Okay, so a lot of people are not aware of the different programs that the United Way gives money to, such as domestic violence organizations, mental health organizations, food banks, educational organizations, as well as daycare centers, and different things. But there's a process, so there's a grant process that has to be completed, and it's normally, if I'm not mistaken, or you can tell me, the grant process is about 8 months, 8 months long, I think it is, if I'm not mistaken. It gives the people an opportunity to submit the paperwork to see it, and to ask for $1,500, $10,000, and $25,000. I think the United Way have a cap on what they give when they look at giving monies out to the organizations, but also it's important on how people fill in the paperwork for the grant. So,
correct.
How does it look with us when we look at, and I noticed when you said that the United Way for the organizations that here they help with the residents or inmates as well as the officers and the sworn officers out. Let's talk about the fact of what you see on a daily basis working with inside, as well as working the men and women that you work with. So we have those. I think your background has been in education and around challenged individuals pretty much all your career, and you're getting the chance to see them from. You've seen them from the education piece of it to now as a detention officer and pursuing higher education. So what do you see that can help the United Way would be able to help us do as a whole, not just within the sheriff's office, but when the men and women and men exit outside the doors and they're able to stay a part of our reentry program? How can United Way be a major part for that?
So when we have inmates that are housed in our jails, often when they are about to be released, they will see what is called the discharge planner. And the discharge planner has a list of the services and resources that the inmates feel that they're going to need in order to be successful once they are released from our jails. And in that list, a lot of these nonprofit organizations, they receive funding from United Way of some form or fashion. When an organization is interested in receiving funds or assistance or even grants from United Way, they have to be specific as to what they need it for, and then they have to financially be able to break down and actually show why they need the amount of money. And this is all important, especially when we are talking about rehabilitating our inmates into going back into their communities and to be good, successful citizens.
Okay. So we see a lot of, from the outside to the inside, we see a lot of mental health cases now, which I told you, if you've not heard me say it, I've said it, the Guilford County Sheriff's Office is not a mental health institution. Many people that are incarcerated that we're holding their housing right now do not belong here. Correct. They actually belong somewhere where they can get the mental evaluations and the medication and the help that they need to become stable again. Mm-hmm. But nevertheless, we have to do what we do until legislatures are changed, okay? So when we look at that, we look at how important it is to serve them here, but it's even more important for when they exit the door and we getting them ready to enter back, as you said, into the communities. Then we deal with the drug addictions. The drug addictions that causes the mental health breakdown, or the mental health breakdown that causes the drug addiction breakdown. And people wondering why we don't have this and why, well, we do have it. There's many organizations within the Guilford County area or within the state of North Carolina that have the ability to help people, but everybody's not doing what they should be doing. So let's talk a little bit about, as far as we're seeking to see what we can do as a organization for people to want to give dollars either through their pay deduction or write a check out, one-time check for $5 or $1 or whatever they want to give. What do you see that we can do, or how we can encourage those of us that work with these people daily?
Right. So the ones of us who actually work with these people on a daily basis, and we as far as I am aware of, I have coworkers who talk about mental health and how we are not equipped as a facility to be able to deal with certain mental health issues and what we would call life issues, such as drugs, drug addiction, underpayment as far as wages, and people doing things illegally maybe to fill those gaps. It does become survival of the fittest when you have been maybe in jail for a year, 2 years, and you get out, a lot of those people are starting from scratch. So us as a community, not just as a department, we often see the commercial of how you can save somebody with 1 cup of coffee a day. That is actually true. I give through United Way myself personally through my payroll. And through my payroll, if I decide that on this year I'm going to give $100, when you look at your payroll, you literally don't even miss the $1 or $2 that's coming out every pay period. It is so minor that you would not miss it. And it's kind of weird to say, but most people probably spend the money that we could save a life or put someone in a drug program for a 6-month term or a 9-month term. They probably spend that amount of money in the vending machine on a regular basis. So the contributions are very minor when you're speaking of saving at least one life, just from a minor contribution. So we have payroll deductions, as the sheriff just mentioned. We have lump sum payments. Never think that your $5 or your $2 will never do anything, because if you get enough $5, if you get enough $2, then you can still save someone's life. You can change someone's life. It can make a difference in a child's life or an adult's life or even in a family's life.
As I shared with you before we came on, I've had an opportunity to be blessed to sit on the boards, to go with the United Way, Greater United Way of High Point. Got a chance to move around to the different locations that had applied for grants, the Girls and Boys Clubs, the YMCAs, YWCAs, some of the health daycares and stuff like that. And it's great to see that the United Way funding, or our monies that we put into, all of us that we put into the United Way, reaches the masses. But people are not aware, and those are things that we have to continue to educate and show people how to get it done. I just like the idea of thank you for what you're doing. Hopefully that we can continue to get people involved with the sheriff's office as a whole to maybe give $1 or $5 towards the United Way campaign. Now the campaign is going on now until when's the last date?
So what is important that we are currently campaigning. I think there's maybe like 2 weeks left of campaigning, but do keep in mind that you can donate anytime. You do not have to wait until United Way campaign starts, and you don't have to be concerned about when it ends. You can always either contact myself here at the Guilford County Sheriff's Office, or you can speak directly with someone at your local United Way office, and you can always give. And there is no minimum, and there is no maximum.
Okay, so that's one thing I want to address. Probably a couple of things: education and poverty. We've already talked about the mental health, and we talked about the drug issues in Guilford County. The education and the poverty piece of it. United Way can help bridge the gap in those areas as well. Someone asked me the other day about incarceration, people being incarcerated. And I told him, I said, a lot of it is based off the fact of from lack of education, which breeds high poverty, which go from there to drugs or mental health to drugs. I said, it all comes full circle. I said, and we're trying to get organizations to come here and build jobs and bring us the economical growth that we need to help bring people out of the poverty section of life. United Way, I see, can be a strong piece of that.
Right.
You know, I give through the YMCA's or whatever, and I normally just write a check out, or they'll send me an invoice and we do what we do. But it's just amazing of how the lack of understanding and education, it's been out there for people not to understand where the funds go. So I'm hoping to see that Guilford County Sheriff's Office, that we'll be able to take a piece of this and make it ours, where we can help those that we have grown up with, that we have lived beside, we have worked with, we have gone to school, and all kind of stuff that we see go through. Because only by the grace of God, it could be us traveling through those same old things.
Correct.
You know. So I want to say thank you very much for what you're doing with the United Way for Guilford County Sheriff's Office. I think you said this is your 3rd year doing it?
Yes, sir.
It's a lot to learn, but you can do it, I know that. A lot of connections here and there, and I look forward to seeing what Guilford County Sheriff's Office employees or team members can do, will do, and see how we can help make a change or a difference, okay? Thank you very much. Once again, we'd like to say thank you for joining us with Sheriff Danny H. Rogers, Officer Samantha Seagraves with the Guilford County Sheriff's Office. She is our United Way representative, have been for 3 years. We just want to say thank you for taking this time out to watch the episode, and hoping that you too will become a part of the United Way family. Thank you very much.